What's going on, guys? Welcome to the No Excuses Podcast, episode 15. Guys, today's episode is going to be sick. Something very interesting I'm going to talk about, and today's subject is competition. Most people think of competition, two people on a race, two people going after it and trying to win a medal, trying to win a prize. But something that you don't realize, that every part of your life is competition. Usually people will tell you, well, you shouldn't compete against others. You should compete against yourself. Well, that's a different type of competition. All right, and we're going to talk about every competition there is and how it's so important to be competitive. Because when you're competitive, okay, this is when you prosper in your life. Anytime that you're not competitive and you just say, oh, well, I'm not going to compete with you, you're going to lose, okay? And we don't want to be losers. We want to be winners. So let's start with the first part of competition. And I'm going to go right to the guts of it. Let's talk about even the creation of how we are here. We are here through man and woman meet each other, okay? And then they decide to start dating. They decide to maybe get engaged, get married, have a family, right? Well, before you even met your spouse, you were in competition with other men or other women to narrow down the people that you want to get with. And the more competitive you were at a higher demand. You see, you dressed better. You worked out. You made sure you had a good career. You did everything you can that you were at the highest level, that when that person saw you or met you, they're like, man, this is the type of person I want to be with. This is the type of person I want to spend my life with. The people who didn't compete didn't dress nice to the party. Maybe didn't even go to the party at all. The people that didn't compete didn't take care of their body. The people that didn't compete didn't put on deodorant, didn't have a good job, didn't have anything that will attract the opposite sex to them. But the guys and gals that were the most competitive were able to get the best of the best. So when you hear somebody says, well, I'm not going to compete with this other man, or I'm not going to compete with this other woman, guys, that's a loser mentality. And basically saying is, I'll get whatever's left over. And guys, I'm totally against that, man. Like, in my previous podcast, living life by design and not by default goes right into what I'm talking about right now. You cannot just be okay with leftovers. You're only here one time. So you should be doing everything you can in every part of your life to be at your highest level. So I said, well, I'm tired of competing. Well, you shouldn't be. You should be competing for the rest of your life, not just with other men and women, but competing with yourself, which we'll get into soon. So move on forward. You are a competitor. You've been working out. You've been dressing nice. You got yourself a good job. Everything is beautiful. Everything is grand. And you finally attract the person that you wanted in your life. Well, now you guys are dating. Now you guys are married. And slowly, you start letting yourself go. So, you know what? I don't have to work out every day because I already got what I want. Well, I don't have to dress nice every day because I already got what I want. I don't have to hustle every day. I don't have to be the person that I need to be to attract anyone because I already have what I want. And I want to tell you that you could never be more wrong ever in your life. As a matter of fact, it's like getting your first $1 million. Super hard, right? Man, I can't wait to get my $1 million. Well, now to keep that $1 million and not blow it all, you have to be even more on point. You have to be focused. You have to be determined. You have to invest your money. You have to invest your time. You have to be creative. You have to be always on the cutting edge to maintain and grow your position. Well, guess what, guys? There's no difference when you get into a relationship or a marriage. Just because now that you've gained this person in your life that you let yourself go. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the person that they fell in love with was the person who was on point. They were working out, they were exercising, they were dieting, they were dressing nice, they were putting on cologne, they kept their house clean, they woke up early, they did everything they can to be this high-level individual to attract the other person. But now that they're with the other person, they let themselves go. And let me explain to you what happens when you let yourself go. If you like it or not, if you're married or in a relationship, there's another man or another woman doing everything they can to attract you away from your current position. This is a fact. I know for a fact that there's hundreds of men out there that would love to be with my wife. I'm not stupid. I know that little ring that she wears, okay, it's not like some special force that keeps men away. As a matter of fact, a lot of men even like married women, okay? So what will keep her into me or vice versa? Well, what will keep her into me is me being the best version of myself. I have to be fit. I have to be on point. I have to be spending time. I have to be watering. I have to be doing everything I can to keep myself at tip-top shape. You know, obviously at 43 years old, I'm not 20 years old anymore. But guess what? She's not comparing me to a 20-year-old. She is comparing me to other 40-year-olds. She is comparing me to other 50-year-olds, right? She's comparing me to older 30-year-olds, right? This is just the way it is. And the same goes on her page, right? If she lets herself go and doesn't take care of herself, subconsciously, I'm comparing. It's not because I don't love my wife or she doesn't love me. That's just what happens, guys. This is the reality. You stop doing what you need to be doing for yourself, people start losing respect for you. People start looking at the competition. Okay, guys, I provide a jiu-jitsu academy. I provide a coaching service. If when you first started at training with me, if I was doing 10 different things for you, and then now 2 years in, I'm only doing 3 things for you, well, guess what? You're going to start looking otherwise if you still want to train. You know, somebody else, my competitor, will do everything he or she can to attract you to their platform, to their business, to their life. Well, if I want to keep you in my life, I got to continue doing everything I can to keep you attracted and keep you into me, mentally, physically, and emotionally. The other day, guys, I'm talking to one of my clients, and we're talking about his sex life, and, you know, we're talking about how it was so-so, and I said, bro, are you surprised? He goes, oh, why? I said, because you look like the fucking Spanish Santa Claus. And guys, we were cracking up, we were laughing, and, you know, like, he didn't take it hard, but I told him, seriously, what makes you think that your wife wants some fat dude laying on top of her? Guys, it's fucking disgusting. What woman thinks that her man is into her if she's all nasty and shit? Guys, like, you got to be living in a fucking, like, some dream, you know, in a make-believe world. You're trying to be idealistic, you know, where everything's ideal. Well, ideally, you're not going to judge me on my looks. Ideally, you're not going to judge me that I'm lazy or hardworking. Ideally, you just love me for who I am. Wrong. Nobody will ever love you for who you are. Okay? That's not how life works. It's a lie. People always have expectations. People always have things that they're looking from you, right? And they'll provide those things back to you, but you got to provide the service and value back. That's how it works. That's how the free market works. I provide a service and value. The person provides money. I provide good looks, intimacy, good conversation, wisdom, laughter. In return, I get a beautiful woman, loving, caring, nurturing, so on and so on. I let my services go. I let myself go. The opposite happens. This happens all the time. How many people, guys, do I coach? And they end up being roommates. They end up being roommates with their significant other, with their wife, their husband. How many people are sleeping in different rooms? Why is this happening? Because they lost their competitive edge. They're so turned off by you that they rather sleep in a different room. I know men, they can't stand their wives, that they'll stay at work all day long. They finish work at 5, they'll create more work. They'll get a second job. They'll do whatever they can just not to come home to you. They don't want to come home to you because you don't provide anything that makes them feel like, oh, wow, I want to come home to. Or vice versa. So, guys, being competitive, starting with yourself, it's imperative. You should always be your harshest judge. You should always be looking at yourself. How do I look? How do I look in these clothes? How am I doing financially? Am I letting myself go? Am I sleeping in? How is my breath? Does my breath stink? Well, as simple as that. Your breath fucking stinks. You don't brush your teeth. Why would anybody want to kiss you? Do I smell? Guys, sometimes I'm at the gym or just around and I'm like, holy shit, this motherfucker smells like shit. And it just boggles my mind that an individual will leave his house or her house smelling like that. Sometimes I see women who don't shave their armpits. It's fucking disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, it cannot happen. You have to understand, if it happens, there will be a consequence. And that you're not going to like the consequence. How come my wife doesn't love me no more? How come my husband's not into me? How come my husband is having an affair? Well, because there's nothing to you anymore. Your competitive edge is gone. I'll never forget coaching this one guy. Said, when I met my wife, she was fit, she was perfect, and now she's disgusting. Well, you're not the person he married. If you completely let yourself go, you are not the woman that man married. You've basically frauded him. And I don't ever want to hear, I had kids. Okay, if you had kids, you have a grace period. You have a grace period to get your body back. It's really that simple. As a man, I work and you have a grace period of letting yourself go. After that, it becomes disrespect. It becomes disrespect and you lose your competitive edge. And don't be mad when your wife or husband looks elsewhere. So that's what I'm talking about, competition, right? Now let's go to the next subject. What about competition within the financial world? Your work. Some people are like, I have seniority. Well, all of a sudden you're showing up late. All of a sudden you're not giving your best. You're not making the calls I used to make. You're not teaching the class the way you used to teach it. You're letting yourself go. You're not coming into the meetings sharp, clean shaved. If you're wearing a suit and tie, you're slowly letting yourself go. And guess what these companies are doing, guys? What these companies are doing, they're replacing people with seniority who are expensive and cost a lot of money with younger, hungrier individuals who want to learn, want to grow, and have that competitive edge. So if you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, you need to stay on point, my friends. You have to, or you will get replaced. You know what? Let's just say you won't even get replaced. Yesterday I'm at the gym and this lady passed out. These firefighters show up and all three of them, guts like this. Like, you are a fire rescue. You're supposed to show that you're fit. You're supposed to show that you represent health. Like, you, God forbid there's a fire, you're supposed to run in there. How the fuck are you going to run in there being all fat and out of shape? You see cops like that all the time too. Like, you see security guards. Like, it just blows my mind. I see martial artists like that. Like, how are you supposed to be an example when you yourself look like trash? When you yourself feel like trash? You have no competitive edge. As a matter of fact, I don't even know how you pass the test to continue in your job. Guys, me here as a sensei, as running the academy, as being a coach, as being a trainer, I'm always like, I have to lead by example. I have to lead from the front. How can I lead from the front? Freaking having a belly and not being able to train and not being able to do anything. Doesn't work that way. Obviously, if I'm 60 years old, I won't be able to fight with 30-year-olds and keep up. But as a 60-year-old, God willing, if God permits me to live this long, I will stay fit. I will stay healthy. I will be the best fucking 60-year-old you can ever see. That when another 60-year-old, you compare me to them, you're like, holy shit, this guy is unbelievable. Right? Because no matter what age I'm at, I'm always going to be the best version of myself. I'm always going to be the ultimate Yaniv. I'm always going to be the example. I'm always going to be the golden standard of what a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old should be like. And every title that I hold, I will always hold myself to the highest degree. So guys, if you hold a job that you need to be fit, why aren't you fit? If you hold a job that you need to be mentally on the highest level, why aren't you doing your credentials? Why aren't you taking your trade to the highest level? Why are you still on 2010 when it's 2024? When it's 2024, you should already be looking at things that are in 2025, 2026. What is coming out? Always being ahead of the game. That's how you keep your competitive edge. That's how you keep your customers. That's how you keep your career. That's how you keep your job. That's how you keep your spouse. It's having that competitive edge. Well, now let's go into sports, which is really basic, right? We talk about, all the time you see people, people are getting participation trophies. Guys, like anyone who's willing to put themselves out there and to compete, I salute you. I respect you, right? I encourage you to, and I'm proud of you. But I'm sorry that you don't deserve a medal if you didn't place. Because what happens is that why should I, the guy who's going to win first place, work tremendously hard, study my craft, do everything that I can in my sport or in my job, but then Joe Schmo, who was eating Twinkies all the time, sleeping in, shows up on game day, looks like a fucking slob, does a shitty job, deserve a medal. I'm sorry, he or she doesn't. And I would like for them, when they lose, I would like for them to cry. Crying is good for you. I want them to cry. I want them to be upset when you lose. Because hopefully by losing, you get hungrier and you get to a position where you're like, I'm sick of this and I want to get better. Hopefully the pain of losing will create this enthusiasm of wanting to win, of wanting to compete. And if it doesn't, then you belong in the loser bracket. And ideally, you get cut. You get cut from the job. You get cut from the relationship. You can cut from the sport. And you're not in competition anymore. Now you're with all the other losers who also didn't want to put in the work, who also didn't want to put in the effort to get to where they need to be. Always, guys, growing up in high school sports, in college, every day when I played football, every day when I was a competitive jiu-jitsu fighter, I had to fight for my spot. Guys, in IBJJF, like they only, I don't know what it is now, honestly, but I know when I was competing, you could only have 2 competitors per weight class, per team. So when I represented fight sports, I had, okay, you and you are going to fight at 190. You and you are going to fight at 170. That's how it is in wrestling. That's what it is. So if you were in third place, you didn't fight. You didn't compete. Unless there was a tournament where everybody was allowed to compete. Yeah? So having a competitive edge is a beautiful thing. Having a competitive edge teaches you that life is not fair. Life is not ideal. Life is what you make it. Okay? Life is the work that you put into it is what you get back, is the seeds that you plant daily, day in and day out, where nobody sees. Okay? That's the competitive edge that you're getting because everyone's sleeping, everyone's watching Netflix, everyone's chilling, but you're putting in the fucking work. Okay? You're going out of your way to, even though you're tired, you're still taking your wife out. Even though you're tired, you're still spending time with your kids. Even though you're tired, you're still going above and beyond studying and becoming the man you need to become to hold that competitive edge, to keep your wife or husband in love with you, to keep your clients, to win that competition, whatever it is. So stop letting society tell you everybody's equal, because they're not. We're not all equal. Not at all. Not in any shape, way, or form. We're all different, and we all have our strong points. But if you want to compete at whatever arena it is, you better step your freaking game up, because nothing is free and nothing is given. Everything is earned. Well, someone asked me, said, well, you know, it's not right. They didn't ask me. They told me it's not right that if I'm married to my wife or my husband, in this case was a husband, if I'm married to my husband, that if I'm not at my peak performance, that he should go elsewhere. And guys, I'm not recommending anyone to just jump ship in any shape, way, or form. But what I am telling you, it is the harsh truth. I'm sorry, but it is the harsh truth. Like you don't look good anymore. Your spouse, he's looking at other women. If he hasn't cheated already, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's on his way towards, his mind is already left. Same thing your wife. Like if you're like disgustingly out of shape and she sleeps with you once a month, twice a week, twice a month, whatever it is, or on your anniversary, she can't wait for you to get off her. She's disgusted. She might be closing her eyes thinking about another man. I know you don't want to hear it, but it's true because you've lost your competitive edge. Okay? You've lost your competitive edge and the mind has already left. The next thing to leave now is the body. Once the body leaves, it's over, right? Same thing with your job. When you start fucking up, when you start going the wrong route, your clients or your boss or your company, they're already talking behind your back about finding another business to go to, finding another competitor to deal with, and deciding if they should give you more time or not for you to keep your position. Same thing in your sport. Meetings always go behind people's backs to see if that person is going to stay and keep his or her position. Guys, I'm sorry if I hurt some people's feelings. This is not meant to hurt you. This is meant to elevate you. This is meant for you to realize that this has been going on from the beginning of time. When you watch these like Viking movies and all this shit that goes, like back in the days, people were competitive, right? It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to just steal your girl or open up another business next to you. It's like, no, we're going to fucking take your whole village. We're going to take you over your whole town. Guys, competition is so brutal. United States is competing against everybody. Not just financially, but even just to keep us safe. Do you realize how many countries out there want us dead? So we have to keep a competitive edge. We have to keep a competitive edge with our arms, with our defense systems, with our intelligence. Because if not, people will hack us. They'll steal our bank accounts. They will shut down all our defense systems. They will come over and kill us all. These are facts. I know you don't want to believe them, but they're facts. So competition is every part of our lives. So I suggest you take an honest inventory of yourself, of who you are, of what you look like, of your mindset, of your relationship, and be completely honest. Are you there? Are you active? Are you on point? Are you innovative? Are you investing? Are you bringing value to whatever it is? And wherever you're not, you need to step your game up before you get fired. Get fired from your marriage, get fired from being a parent, get fired from your job, or get fired from your career or your sport. We're all, guys, we're all just a few steps away from getting fired. I know it sounds horrible and harsh, but it is the real reality. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Guys, please subscribe, like, share, put out the good word out there. Guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. Let's keep spreading the word. And guys, you need any help, guys, leveling up in your life, hop on my No Excuses program and let me help you and guide you and show you the blueprint to the best version of yourself.
Woosah.